I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long.
I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Yes, yes, yes. We will shut shit down. Blessings, blessings, uncensored enlightenment talk. Yes. Who knew I was going live today? I didn't even know it, but the Spirit said, let's go. How are you doing, Uncensored Enlightenment Talk? If you don't know who I am Grace Levi. Yes, yes, yes. And I have been doing a lot of lives highlighting what's going on in Dolton, Thornton, as well as with our super mayor. One of the things that I mentioned in our last few broadcasts that I wanted to get into finding out what's going on in Dalton related to the police. You know, as I mentioned, I like to pay attention to law, justice, and things like that. And on the backhand side, we've been hearing some shady things. And I'm just going to present what I have found so we can just start investigating. And as we continue to grow this platform and meet more amazing people, I would like you guys to participate. So there's going to be two particular subjects today that I talk about towards the end that I'm going to have to wait on to make a part two. So if you guys can give me some insight before I actually talk about it, because I feel that is very touchy. And you know that I talk about it from an uncensored perspective. And because emotions can be involved, I want to make sure that I have at least, the people's feeling, a little bit of their insight, and then talk about what I have seen. They were one of the incidents involved in the Dalton police related to Alexis Wilson. Wilson. I kept calling her Willis. I do apologize, Wilson. So towards the end, we're going to touch that subject, and I'm going to ask y'all to do me a favor, okay? Because I was deeply touched by the person who presented at the board meeting, and I'm it bothers me when our young kids are murdered, even through, wrongful killing through officers, also through gang violence and things like that. So I definitely want to talk about it in the right way, but I also want to be uncensored. I want to be real because we have to be realistic in our community. I think that some of our issues in the Black community, we deal with a lot of our emotions and a lot of our clicky behavior. So once you like somebody or you feel some type of way about something, you kind of just be spiritually blinded. And now let me give you an example. My brother, as I mentioned, he is arrested. He's doing 20 years. And I understand what he have done is against God and against the law. That does not mean that I don't love him, and that does not mean that I did not support him as my brother, but I do know what he did is wrong and he deserved justice. So I am that type of person that I'm not going to fake the funk because I love someone. And I hope you guys would do the same, because when I give some of my commentary about stuff, y'all gonna be like, oh Lord, but it is what it is. So we're going to get to it. Thank you for being with me tonight. Please hit the like button. I'll probably be on for an hour and a half or so. This is going to be our part one and getting into what's going on in Dalton related to the police. But something that I found interesting, this was something that was released June 13th, 2024. And I haven't heard too many people talk about it, but we're going to put, I'm a little serious tonight. We're going to put this monster on the screen. Yes, yes, yes. This monster on the screen. So I would assume this is an update, and it is some type of hearing that was scheduled related to the accusation. So let's put this on the screen, and I want to keep my eye out on it if anyone knows, because honestly, I'm still looking for the court information if it was a hearing related to this, but let's just get this playing.
A judge is holding a morning in the lawsuit against former Dolton trustee Andrew Holmes. A former village employee accused him of sexual assault that happened during a conference in Las Vegas. She and a Dolton police officer claim that Mayor Tiffany Henyard tried to cover it up. The employee was fired and the officer was demoted. Holmes was also working for a nonprofit crime victim advocacy group, but was fired in May.
All right, I was on Pacer just a few minutes ago. Excuse me. Pause. I was on Pacer a few minutes ago, and I'm still having trouble pulling it up, but I'm going to do my best, in the next few days to try to pull up this case, okay, and see what I can find if they have a hearing, because I do want to keep my eye on what's going on with the Fania Dukes case and, her accusations against him, which is horrendous. Now, let's get into this. I found this interesting. All the allegations, scams, and scandals that the Chicago area super mayor has against us. So this was from The Root, and I like how they highlighted some of the, so let's rewind and see what's been going on with our super mayor, just to remind everybody. Okay, the ones who don't know, or the ones that just want to remember what type of stuff our mayor is on. Let's add it to the screen. Here we go. So shout out to The Root. I'm going to try to make this quick. They got a little slideshow, okay? So these are some of the things that Miss Henyard, our super mayor, is having allegations against. Let's start it. Village of Town schemes. The first bombshell allegation to strike Henyard office came in March 2024. Allegations she misused taxpayer money to fund a series of her own personal and pricey expenditures. Now, we know that included her inauguration, as well as the fireworks that went over $5,000 that we went into detail about. That's why you like this channel, because we're getting into detail to figure out what they're talking about, because we want to see like, okay, we don't want to just run with the headlines, because Miss Supermayor always say that, you're being bamboozled, you're being swindled. So you need to read, you need to go research. So that's what we do here, okay? Now, the next scandal came up in March 2024. Village trustee requested a third-party investigation to look, well, this is not the third, but in this particular article, okay? Investigators to look into the suspicious spending of Henyard trip per Washington Examiner. Specifically, they requested to look into the trip to Las Vegas with two other village trustees. A previous investigation into the trip found no wrongful doing. Yet other trustees remain skeptical. So there has been some type of investigations going on, but I wonder what they were in there doing, actually, what type of seminar they were doing and what they actually learned out there, because things went to the left in Vegas. All right, next, the veto resolution fell by the board. So it passed, and then it got in front of the judge, and it got remarkably turned around. So in response to the allegation of spending taxpayer money, the board attempted to pass a resolution to investigate her spending. However, Henyard vetoed the resolution, claiming that she's being personally attacked by the boys club, that this is the village boy who she claims was just trying to lead a smear campaign against her. Okay. And what I will say, Henyard, what I say all the time, matter of fact, I found out she's 41. She tried to tell me I'm 20. She's 41. So that's my big sister. But little sister about to straighten you out. You need to get it together and get transparent. Okay. Okay. And take off all of that magic makeup. Now we're going to move forward. The next allegation right here. We have this video. And can somebody please tell me, have Mallory's Fitness Center actually turned into the police station? So we have this video where she talks about this. I found that. We're going to show that tonight. The allegations of Henyard at alleged lavish spending also included a claim that she used $1 million for a police detail for her personal security. And that's just at that time. The former police chief who was fired. And we're going to get into that just a little bit so we can, get into the history. I'm still investigating this because I am a Dalton and Thornton resident online. So I'm trying to figure this out. You guys keep sending me information, and we're going to put the pieces together. Now, so we know that the former police chief, he was fired. We're going to go into that. Chicago has believed she misused funds, creating protections for herself, which took more officers off the street patrol to fight crime. So that's what we want to get into, some of the crime that's happening in Dolton. So, you know me, I know crime coming from Newark. Yeah, and I was just actually watching it too because I couldn't remember the music that I believe stemmed in Newark, but they say in California, and that's that drill music, and it brought a lot of death. So I just wanted to highlight that, some of the things that our kids are into. I was just watching this video that Lovely T was talking about all these drill rappers and somebody else got killed. But it just makes me flash back to all the things that I experienced in Newark. And definitely when I was hearing that music, there was a lot of demon time. So with that goes to say, back to what we were talking about, the crime. I wanted to highlight the crime that was going on in Dolton, just in comparison to what I have seen. And if y'all have more information, let me know about it. But this is going to be more so highlighting officers involved situations. Okay. That's what tonight is going to involve. And now, what they say, the news outlet found that the officers assigned to Henyard worked endless hours of overtime, which turned into cost taxpayers more money. And we know one of them had 300 hours or something like that in one pay week. Now, this was something that people should never, let me make sure my mic is on. Never forget. Okay. This is an allegation at this point against Miss Henyard from Miss Valerie Stubb. And I don't disregard this. Okay. This is ridiculous. And nobody's looking into this. Now, this is what made me really want to say, what the hell going on with the police out there, especially with this. So we're going to play this. And hold on, before I play it, basically let me read it. Former village trustee Valerie Stubbs, who publicly criticized the mayor, claimed that she was retaliated against by Henyard. She told the New York Post Henyard repeatedly intimidated and harassed her at her house, including sending hitmen. I'm reading this, okay? And I'm not saying allegedly because I'm reading, okay? Sending hitmen to shoot up the vehicles of her tenants. Stubbs alleged Henyard made allies with the police department on purpose, so they ignored the complaint she made against the mayor. So do we know, did they follow up on this? And it's so crazy, she had cameras on. So let's watch this. I want to see if the car in this picture. This is ridiculous. Thank God she wasn't outside. Where was the shots coming from? That thing got in that car, sped off. So is this her house? Whose house is this? This is a shot from somebody else's house? Somebody let me know what's going on around here. I'm trying to do a little bit more, investigating, but they only have so much on the surface and I'm not out there. But who camera is this? And you saw the white car right here where two young men jumped in the car and sped off. So I don't know how the connection is totally to Henyard, but I would love to get details about it. You already know. Blessings, everybody. Blessings. Why haven't the FBI agents come? Well, what do you mean? They came, but, we trying to figure out what's going on. We trying to figure out what's going on with the investigation. I will believe when she was supposed to present that information, that's on the 20th of last month, that was related to the FBI investigation. So she asked for an extension, and I'm not sure of when the extension date is, but it should be coming up or past it. I mean, we passed 30 days at this point. So concerns increase in community building, and we already know it's been a lot of issues. I was watching a video the other day, and it was a lot of residents complaining about getting like $6,000 bills and $5,000 bills, and I would assume it was related to the water main breaks. But the bills wasn't being cleared properly. I would assume they have now because there's only like one lawsuit related to a bill that I saw. If we ever get into that, I'll look into it. But there is a lot of issues with billing out in Dolton. And also, we know the freedom of information request. Also, accessing their buildings, just so much. So, WGM investigates found that the village of Dalton owed over $427,000 to the street paving company for works done in 2002. Now, this is before Henyard, y'all. So, this is 2002. That's a long time. There you go. That's ridiculous. On top of that, the bank threatened to repo vehicles belonging to the village, including cop cars, due to unpaid balances. The tree trimming company is also owed $400,000 for work they have did in 2013. He said, so this is another tree trimming company. Now, this is under her tenure, and it's been issued because of her presentation. Okay, so the report said, so for the other vendors, the report found that after $50,000 is owed in overpayment, the mayor admitted in a board meeting that there is a $2 million deficit in facing. However, she held a random 1 million Facebook giveaway in February 2024 in honor of Black History Month, as per Fox 32. Who won that $1 million? Who won it? Somebody holding out on us. Anybody? I don't think nobody won that because, as we know, she do all of this nonsense, and at the end of the day, we don't see who benefits from it but her. So if anybody won that in Dalton, let me know. Okay, because we had showed about the raffle she did before for the businesses. Was that the one? Was that the one we were talking about? Okay. Yep. So let's go to the Wicked Witch of the West. Concern responses with assault claims. So we know that about Andrew Holmes. And my thing is, why don't they put his name in it? They always like just highlighting the trustee. Harass. Okay, so it says Henyard former assistant. So it's different. Henyard former assistant alleges she was harassed, by trustee on Henyard's board. Okay, yeah. When she told Henyard about it, the mayor responds that if the incident went public, she was ruined. So yeah, that's the situation. They just call him the trustee. They call that her the assistant. So disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? And look at this lady with her smug face. Look at all that glue right there on that wig, getting on my nerves. Let me move forward. Smug ass face. Let me move forward. All right, wrongful termination lawsuits. We went into some of that. What else? Then we on number 9. I need to move faster. Dang, it's like 17 up here. Good Lord. And I ain't even get to the police stuff yet. Another suspicious termination. Former maintenance manager, Dwayne, filed a lawsuit in 2023. He was terminated while on vacation after refusing to cooperate in a scheme where Henyard and her assistant planned to fire the attorney and replace them with firm preferred by the mayor assistant. All right, so that was another one. And there's another lawsuit that just came up. Y'all already know. Shady bids, what they talking about? Henyard was alleged to Superhead a $200,000 payment in a no bid, no contract deal. And I had some people in my comment and a few videos keep talking about this. So let's get into this no bid, no contract deal with Suburban Contractor Company, which has been linked to multiple corruption. Okay, so that's the one we were talking about our last live, Mr. OK, whatever, OKK, right? Featuring one where the owner allegedly tried to run a scam to clear thousands of unpaid taxes from family-owned properties, as per Illinois Answer Project. All right, so we know about that, her crooked deals, FBI raid. You just so much. I should have got this on her birthday. Y'all already know. We went in on her birthday. The CARES Foundation. We know about that. They stay looking into that nonsense. The way she say, it's just my face. Because I'm so famous, they just use my face. Even though it was her butt flipping and jumping around down the street on bikes talking about, look at my organization. I'm going to pass a bill. Remember all of that. She like erase all that, Peggy. Erase all that, Peggy. All right, now here go her and her boyfriend, Mr. Kamal Woods, Mr. Throw up all the hieroglyphics. That's why I want to get to know some of the people out in Thornton and Dalton. Talk to me, baby. I know thugs. I know OG thugs when I see them, but I'm going to mind my business. So, one of the people serving as a federal subpoena in investigation into sketchy construction projects, Mr. Kamal Woods. Okay, according to Fox 32 and Illinois Answer Project, Woods was identified in Henyard's divorce record as her girlfriend, as his girlfriend. Okay. Okay. And was accused of earning a high lucrative salary coming up to $100,000 a year in addition to working private security for local governments. Told y'all, we talked about that, right? He was so happy for getting a Pootie Tang and a Pootie Tang paying him that he gonna put it on his papers. He like, fuck it, I ain't gonna be in contempt. Like, I ain't gonna be in contempt like Fannie Woods' boyfriend lying. He's like, they still gonna catch it. I might as well just put it out there. My girlfriend gave me the money. So I still I'm just throwing stuff out there, guys. If you know anything about the hieroglyphics and any street ties and you got any proof, you know what it is. Okay. We'll talk about it allegedly. Okay, look at this guy. Who he remind me of over here looking like Dodo the bird. All right, here go the village assistant administrator of Dolton, Mr. Freeman. Somebody else around her connected to some bullshit. Okay, for no reason. The U.S. Attorney Office of the Northern District of Illinois announced charges against Dolton Senior Administrator Keith Douglas Freeman in connection to allegation of bankruptcy fraud, unreported income, and submitted old income tax returns. And he did that to himself. That's why I say he's stupid, like a dodo bird, a big old dodo bird. He did this. He didn't even have to file bankruptcy. He could have just paid his damn bills, came up with some payment options, but lied, knowing these people trying to investigate. And they like, listen, he looked like the weakest link. Let's go get this dodo bird. And that's what the hell they did. That's what I think, in my opinion. But anyway, we want to start off hot, just giving people a reminder. Let's move on from this guy. Here we go. This is her face, not her organization. According to the Illinois Answer Project, the Township of Dalton was billed. I thought it was $10,000, but this is $10,000 probably was the initial donation. $17,000 for merchandise. $17,000 on merchandise Henyard used for herself and her foundation. After federal subpoena requested documents related to that payment and found the invoice for the merchandise went out just one day after Henyard Foundation was submitted to the state. We got a little bit more detail. So it wasn't just a $10,000 donation. That's why we like to read. We be on the hunt. Look at you, girl. You got to get it together. Seriously. All right, let's get to the last one. Is that it? That was it. So how was that, y'all? Now we're gonna move on. Hit the like button. Hey, hi, Miss Tony. How are you? Blessings. Yes, tonight we on it. I want to definitely keep my word. I said I wanted to start to just see what was going on with the Dolton Popo, and hopefully that can stem for us to get more information. Dalton former top cop exposed Mayor Henyard alleged misuse of police details. So we do know about that. Let's just put that back on the screen for the people who don't know. The person that she fired, the one that was in her corner at one point. But I think, he wasn't beat from the beginning. He was just watching. But when it came to those permits for protesters, he was down for it. If y'all remember the meeting, and I don't got the clip now, this chief, I forgot his name, Chief Collins, he was down for the permit for the actual protesters. And that would, one, make the protesters have fines. They would be tickets, and tickets would turn into actual, how we talk about misdemeanors. The misdemeanors turn into felonies. Then you're locked up. Okay, so they was putting on stipulations. but the board actually did not agree with it. Shout out to the board of trustees in Dalton. I caught that. So let's play this right here of the this mayor, I guess, getting to I'm not the mayor, the chief of police finally getting to the point where he's like, okay, it's too much going on. But you was with it when it came to the protests. Okay.
We needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime. And instead, we have several officers that are riding around protecting the mayor.
The former police chief in South Suburban Dalton is speaking out for the first time to just one station about Mayor Tiffany Henyard's controversial police security detail and how it impacted his ability to fight crime.
Last year, a Fox 32 investigation showed how that detail is taking officers off the street and costing taxpayers thousands of dollars in overtime. Dane Placco continues his investigation, exclusively talking to the former top cop who tried to put a stop to it.
The manpower was just very stressed and critical to the point of almost breaking.
Former Dalton Police Chief Robert Collins spoke to us from Florida, where he's taken a new job after being fired by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard late last year. But Collins says he remains frustrated by what he experienced leading an undermanned, overworked police department, while Mayor Henyard demanded a large personal security detail.
You know, wrong is wrong, and there's a time to hold people responsible and accountable for their actions.
Last year, a Fox 32 investigation followed Henyard's detail as Dalton police officers drove her from morning till night, often to her second taxpayer-funded job as Thornton Township Supervisor in South Holland. Through an open records request, we found the officers assigned to Henyard racking up hundreds of hours of overtime, costing taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars.
But at some point, there would be 2 officers or 3 officers, and depending on if there was some type of event, it would be more officers.
That's for a town of a little more than 20,000 people that's struggling economically and usually only has a few officers on duty per shift. Collins says Henyard's security detail was warranted when it started in 2021 after a police-involved shooting sparked protests and threats.
And at some point, the protests stopped. However, the detail continued.
And it grew in.
And I believe that protest was related to Miss Alexa Wilson. Please, guys, I really wanted to talk about that tonight, but I really feel funny about talking about it. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about it, but I want you guys to give me some details. Okay, just speak how you feel, because I'm not out there, you know, and I have to respect the fact that I am online and I am perceived as a content creator. But that story right there, once I got into detail, I had mixed feelings about it. I'm going to be honest. So you guys who know about it, I want you guys, when I get to it, to get in the comments.
In size and scope. Collins says Henyard frequently uses the officers as her personal valets.
Ridiculous.
Officers would be sent out to run errands, to do pickups.
And the mayor's detail racked up thousands of dollars in travel expenses, accompanying Henyard on her many trips out of town.
Why do you need a security detail
Lacey.
while you're out of town?
Y'all see his name, Lacey, on the bill? Why Lacey's name wasn't in that FBI list? Why his name wasn't on a list? Okay, that's what we need to find out right here. I'm going to stop this video right here. But y'all saw Lacey's name on the bill? Where is that? Let me see. Can I find that jigger name? Lacey. What's that shit right here? Okay, $23. What is it? It was a Lacey place? Whatever. He should be on the list too. But anyway, my question is, what is she doing riding around all day that you need the police right there every day? You don't got no desk? You don't got no paperwork to do? I'm confused. They standing by your door? So that right there is telling you that work ain't getting done out there, y'all. Work is not getting done out there. Now let's move forward. We got some more. I think I'm just gonna leave this. This is another article about her firing him, and that's just because he just basically started to go against her. Illinois Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of using cops to harass enemy, blows thousands on lavish vacations, and plaster face on posters. So this is just a short. I think this is a short video about Henyard, or a short article. Let's see. I think it just get into basically giving a highlight of most of the things that we talk about. If you guys don't remember, I'm going to make y'all remember. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, this is against her and her voting, and people are trying to come against her. No, we just telling the truth. So, wow, whatever we could do, we just going to keep on doing it right there. Okay, but y'all know I'm gonna tell the truth about some stuff. Y'all know I'm about. If I keep saying that, I'm gonna prepare y'all because I think I'm gonna say something controversial tonight. I don't want Dalton to be mad, but I do think mental health plays a part in some of these situations that's going on out there, as well as the cops not being trained properly. So if this is not a video, I'm just gonna run through this real quick tonight. Let's see, Dalton. Okay, keeping my promise, I'm fighting for my residents. Reads one sign along the face of Tiffany Mayor Henyard on a shadow strip of downtown Dolton. I told y'all stop hating on my mayor when she trying to advertise and let y'all know she got resources. You see how the criminals do? You know her right there, right there. So not only they're complaining about her misusing money and actually promoting herself, but she's also doing things like I said, I don't think the money is being spent right. We're gonna get into what's I need y'all to update me on what's going on with this place, Mallory's Fitness Center. Okay, because when it comes to Mallory's Fitness Center, it's supposed to be a police department. I really want to know, did it get changed to a police department? Dem Mayor Henyard accused of launching police raids against businesses that won't pay the Queen ransom. So if y'all don't remember, that's just going to be another little quick flashback. Happy belated birthday, Henyard. Yes, your little sister's still riding that ass. Here we go. Okay, so just remember that. With her actually causing Pablo's to be shut down for a little while. If I can just give y'all an update about Pablo's, on 6/15, looking at the case, they asked for extension. So I don't know if it's because Henyard don't have a lawyer. Let's see. What is it on this paper? I don't know if it's Henyard don't have a lawyer, or most likely got to do with Henyard, because that's what was the reason why it's a holdup. So we're going to back up on Pablo's on July 17th. That's when we're going to be getting an update. So that was some of the outcome of the Queen putting her pressure on businesses that won't support her. So just hours after reports that embattled Democrat Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard was under investigation by the FBI, multiple local businesses were said to be raided by local police. This is how emboldened and crooked or slow she is. Either way, something not right. On Tuesday, Fox 32 reported that the 6 individuals have spoken to the FBI about Henyard conduct, including business owners and former village employees and one or more public officials. One complained of difficulty renewing his business license, claiming to suffer from harassment and raids on his business and being shut down by Dalton. The U-Haul rental and truck business owner believed it was retaliation after he refused to donate to the civic event sponsored by Henyard. So we didn't see a court case for the U-Haul person, but we find out that there's another one. All right, here go Miss Henyard with her bodyguards. Okay, so it says controversial mayor launches wild triad at officials for attacking a Black woman in power over her spending. It's because she Black. Okay, whatever. We got crookedness all over, and honestly, this is the time where many people are being exposed. Is many public officials being exposed. It's not just Black women. It's Black men, it's white men, it's white women. Just crazy people. Dalton police enforced unlawful order from Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. Let's put thick legs, chicken legs, thick legs, chicken legs, thick legs, Lacey on the page. He's just thick all over. Let's just be honest. That's another issue. I'm going to just be honest. The police in Dalton need to get working out. You look at them, when I be looking at them at the meetings, I'm not being funny. What the hell are you doing at Mallory's Fitness Center? Because y'all ain't working out. All y'all short and stubby to the motherfucker. That's why that crime rate going on up there. I'm not trying to be funny throughout this live. This time I said I was going to be serious. But honestly, they got to do better. So in another display of wasteful spending and commingling of resources within the village of Dalton and Thornton. You like how I say Thornton? A woman admitted to attend an official township event and was forced to leave by a Dalton police officer acting on Township Supervisor Henyard unlawful order to remove her from the township event. Now, this was November 22nd event. And didn't they do that at the Easter event where they kicked the grandma out with the baby? That was caught on camera. It is not the first time Henyard has removed her from events. It's probably the same lady, right? Is this the same lady? This is not the first time Henyard has removed her from events. Previously, she had been removed from at least two open public meetings in Village of Dolton. There's an article over there. For no reason other than Henyard didn't want her to attend. All people especially residents, have the right to attend official functions in their government. I want to see the lady. Okay, because I had two questions. My next question is going to be related to a lady that I found that made a video about Thick Legs Lacey. I think it's coming up. And she has a YouTube page. And some of her videos are pretty, went somewhere. And it started because I saw it before. It was on YouTube. It was on TikTok. And I saw it a long time ago. Hold on, babes. Did I take it off? Marquita Franklin. Did I say the wrong name, y'all? Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. The spirit telling me because I'll be listening to everybody. And I think that was the lady who was yelling outside the last meeting. Y'all remember? When she was like, damn, I forgot what she was like. Nah, nah, nah. She was so loud. It was just her. Let me know if that's the Marquita, because y'all know I'll be kind of like watching. And what I'm hearing is that I don't know, like she kind of out there. No disrespect, Marquita. I'm just listening and stuff like that. And she got issues with Thick Legs Lacey. Okay, let's just start there. Let's just start with what I definitely know from what I see. Okay. Now I saw this video, but I didn't put two and two together months ago that this was Thick Legs Lacey until today. I was like, oh shit, this Thick Legs Lacey messing with somebody. So Miss Marquita and Thick Legs Lacey have some issues. And this was on Cops MVP #1 on TikTok. Let's play it. This is 11 seconds into action. It's more videos. I don't know if y'all want to see it, but I want to wait to do more research. These are two things I want to do more research on, y'all, before y'all get, because I really need to do research about this, because it was like long videos of Miss Marquita, but also with Miss Wilson, I want to do more research. Good, so help me, y'all. So when my commentary come out, it's true and honest, and it is just not like biased with half of information. So this is Dalton Police. Louis Lacey allegedly killed man in his cell. He was the last to see him alive. I fear for my life. This is Miss Marquita. That's her allegations. You want to hear it? Here you go. Hold up. Play it for me.
You know me.
Ma'am, are you refusing to give me your license?
I gave you my driver's license number.
Give me your license.
I'm not going to reach. Give me another officer come out, reach for it. I'm not going to reach. I got guns on me, and my stuff is in.
Okay, look, that was really short. Y'all want me to play another one? Because she got more up there, but I want to really research. I'm going to pull her page up. I have her page. Actually, this is one. This is her page. If y'all know her, don't be like Grace trying to finish you, trying to start trouble. Well, I'm not. I'm just investigating. Okay? Just trying to figure out who these people is and what they doing and how they connected to certain people and what's their problem. And she got a problem with Thick Legs Lacey and the popo out there. So this is what caught my eye, because she been making personal videos. So do y'all know her? Anybody? I'm going to keep asking. Y'all know I'm going to keep asking so I'll figure this shit out. Somebody going to be like, no, we don't know her. Yes. Okay, let's watch this video. Marquita Franklin, this is her YouTube page. Y'all could investigate. Y'all know I'm going to put everybody link at the bottom, even if it's not there today. If y'all look at my the videos, y'all going to see I got a list of all the links that I looked at. So y'all can look yourself. So probably by tomorrow, I'm going to have all these links. Oh, y'all just Google and go to her page yourself. But yeah, tell me about this young lady, because they try to make it seem like she off. That's what people say. But something going on here. So let's watch this.
Because I got the 380 in the same area. Okay.
I got 380.
It's right here on my hip. Person, could you? Yeah. Would you like to take the seatbelt off? Okay. So who was it? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Can I take my seatbelt off?
Right.
Yes. Okay.
I'm Eric.
My hip was fractured. I need a little help. There's the 380 right there.
Okay. Go ahead and get out. Get her license. You say your license in your pocket, right?
It's in here.
Is it in the purse?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, she can get
Okay.
it.
don't mind, let's step over back on the traffic.
Okay, thank you.
So I think what I'm hearing
Yeah.
from my little that they keep putting her over.
Driver's license,
And she
military
has
ID,
issues
Utah care.
because maybe she knows something. So I'm just kind of bringing this up. My main thing is to show what's on the mainstream tonight. But this is kind of like the back door shit. I'm kind of like, ooh, what's going on around here? So if y'all know Miss Markia, let me know. I would love to like make some true commentary, about what's going on. And if it is really corruption in Dolton, because what I'm seeing when it comes to some of the crime, the officers involved stuff, I'm going to give my commentary, but I thought it would be more, honestly, because it's in Chicago, well, close to Chicago, but we're going to go into it. Now, Dalton seeks more police manpower, aims recent spike of violence. And guess who they got in the front of this damn article? The monster. Dun, 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 dun. Got this jackrabbit in front of you. So with its police force reduced to a fraction of what it has been in the last few years, Dalton is looking for help combating the recent surge of violence and crime. Since August 19th, when the Dalton officers dislocated his shoulder during a gun battle with two alleged robbers outside a used car dealership, the village have experienced a rash of violence, including 2 fatal shootings and apparently unintended female targets. We're in a crisis, said Mayor Lori Rogers. So this was under his term. Coming in with gang violence and issues. No damn program for the kids. The same thing I was complaining about with the DA who, ripped the program out. And you're making all this ornamentation. Let's have some fun. Let's have events. They're not highlighting what we're doing. Where is the gang prevention? Where is the crime prevention programs? That's what I want to see, Miss Henyard. I think that's what your residents wants to see too, because they don't want to die at your events having fun and kids come shoot up some stuff, because that's what's happening. Okay, we are in a crisis, say Mayor Lori Rogers, following a special meeting where they implored the board to approve a hearing for more police officers. We've been down police officers for a number of years, and we need to address it. Rogers said that he had reached out to everyone that I thought could help us, including the county and the federal government, and a plan for applying for emergency funds from the U.S. Department of Justice to hire new officers. Dalton Police Force, which once numbered in the mid-60s, currently is around 26 officers. No. Yep, no. It better not be 26 officers. That's not the truth. This was in Lori Rogers. Okay, I can't believe that. We got to do better, y'all. Ooh, a combination of retirement, injuries, and terminations have cut the force nearly 40% in the last couple of years. Oh my God, I would assume that the crime go up. Then we got mass migrants coming in now, and they little ruthless, baby, beating up police. Y'all better be ready. So with the crime and everything we have going on to this community and in the throughways, I think that the size of the department could easily be 60 to 70 officers. It better be. Y'all better not have 26 officers. Come on. That's dangerous. Y'all can't fight no crime in Dolton with that shit. Thank God I didn't find a slew of crimes. I did find, police make a mistake out there, but Jesus Christ. Y'all ain't got no manpower. And Tiffany, you worried about ornamentation? Do you know what's going on out there? Okay, I'm a little bit upset because I'll be at the board meetings highlighting that we need programs for the kids, not just lawn program, comprehensive programs. Y'all here we go. Here go Grace Levi. I'm about to start talking. Yes, we need comprehensive programs for the kids that teach them computers, that teach them hands-on mechanics, that teach them banking, finance. Yeah, that shit that they ain't being taught in school. Not stupid ornamentation going to skating rings and parties. You see what I'm saying? Miss Henyard, why the crime is going up. Let me just get this sucker off my screen, because he distracted me looking like Tales from the Crypt. Damn demon. So are they actually focusing on the things that we need out there in Dalton? No, because there was this young man at Thornton meeting. He was very smart, and he was talking about the crime going up and how he afraid for his mother and father, and that he don't live there anymore. But he sees that the focus is not on there, and it's based on controversy, finances, and things like that, which we should be paying attention to. But y'all gonna have to backtrack it for the criminals coming in and take over y'all shit. Y'all already don't trust the police, and then y'all don't have y'all coming together as a community to police yourself. I'm just telling you, you better start having these neighborhood watch. This is how we helped in Newark. This is what we did. I told you, we was whooping our own kids' asses. We found drugs on our thing. We was flushing it down the toilet. They was like, oh shit. Like, that's why I took my son out of Newark, because I knew if he would have been out there and got into the gangs, I probably would have been killed. Just like they killed them parents out in Chicago. Because I would have been running up on his ass in the corner, like, nigga, get off this corner. And everybody like, here go your mother, messing up the money. And then it probably would have been bad. I'm that type of parent. And I think that's what we really need to do. Because what these police doing and where they looking like they can't even walk. They can't even walk with their thick ass legs. What you think they're going to do? They just shooting and killing. They just shooting and killing if they can aim. Okay. Now, I found this. After this, we're going to get into a little bit of the comments. Shout out to Valerie. I see you in there. Tony, I see you in the building. Anybody else? Go ahead and get in the comments, because y'all know how I do. I put y'all on the screen. I put you on the spot. So if you want to talk, if you want to express your opinion, put it up there, a whole sentence, and I'll read it and we'll talk about it. It is what it is. Okay. This was just a little website I found, police scorecard. Y'all ever heard of this? And I believe this is like a person-driven website, because there's a lot of missing information, like data. So it's not a government website. Y'all know I will tell y'all it's not a first resource, but it is something that I found interesting. So I started talking about Dalton crime in their scorecard. They get about a 40. Okay. Their scorecard at a glance, so average about 40. They can get a 0 to 100% compared to other cities with under 50,000 people population. So yeah, I mean, but they don't have a lot of data here. So police budget they talk about is under the worst amount in the 19% percentile. Misconduct settlements is incomplete right now. Fines and forfeitures is at 4%. So I'm not too sure how that's working. Fines and forfeitures specifically, if that's like high level crimes or just tickets. Police presence over police and officers per population, 43%. How is that? Let's see how that work out. That's why I say I want to know how many police out there. We're going to be doing more detailed investigation, or how can I say research? I research. I don't investigate. I research. So after we show you all of this tonight, we're going to have a part 2, as I told you. And if I can't get feedback on Miss Wilson and also Makita, I'm going to just give my commentary, because it is what it is. We're going to have to get it together. So right here is police accountability. They don't have any information here. So I'm going to find a more government-based website that actually rate the police. But this is about the police funding. And they compared it to police, health, housing, corrections. More police funding per capita than 81% of departments. What do you think that is constituted to? They got more than 81% of normal spending for police departments in, that has that population, I think under 50,000, they're in the 81 percentile. That's where you get an A, huh? Spending all that damn money on that overtime. Got people just watching you at your house, going shopping. You ain't doing no work. All you need is the security door at the mayor's office. You need a security guard there, and you to sit up in your office and do some damn work. That's what I see. All right, so that right there just show you something ain't right. Okay, and the housing expenditures is way less than actually with the budget for the police. Baby, numbers of officer per population. I like I said, I want to get into this to figure out what's the true numbers. And I know they have some government website we could look into, but this was my quick research today. So deadly force killing, it says 3 killings from 2013 to 2021. Now, I told you I didn't find a lot, but I did find some things that involve police shootings. And we're going to show you guys. Hopefully, we don't get, like that. They kind of like, oh, it's violence. But we're going to show you some of it, okay? And look at this. Dalton Police Department demographics. This is pretty much black. The population is black. Deadly force by unarmed vehicle. None unarmed by vehicle. There was another one. People killed by the police. So they were black. Black on black crime. All right, so I just wanted to show you some data that you can start to look at. You always want to look at data from different resources to kind of get an idea of what's going on. Don't just watch the news and hear, oh, the Popo killed this one. Popo killed this one. Because they will run a story so down your throat that you'll think that 1 million people died and it was 1 or 2. I'm just being honest, okay? So now what we're going to do is get into some of the stories that I did find. I'm going to be honest, I didn't find a lot, and God be the glory. Thank you, because that town too damn little to have so much crime. But allegedly, I'll be listening to people talking about they got a car ring around there. Anybody know about that? Anybody know about that? Let me know. All right, before we get to that, let's see. Hello, Tony. Glad to catch you as well. She takes all of the money from Thornton Township for this CARES Foundation and then tells the resident there's not enough funds to assist with electric bills and water bill. I do believe that Tiffany is taking, now that Dalton is probably broke, she's using Thornton's money. Because you saw what they talked about with the lady who was doing the social media. Didn't those things take place in Dalton? Isn't that skating ring in Dalton? The things they were recording and highlighting, the Father's Day thing, wasn't it in Dalton? So she's using funds right there. I believe that just showed from Thornton and use it in Dalton. Right there already. Not only they highlight when she went to Washington as the mayor, y'all remember that, and Bill Thornton. So definitely is going on. It's right there. We're just waiting for all the pieces to come together like Voltron. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Jedediah. He did an interview with Lavelle. Lavelle, I caught it last night. And I was like, oh, that was the guy that she had hired that was a sex offender. And he said that she knew me. She knew like my history and stuff. And the story he told was kind of abstract, y'all. I wanted more. I would ask more questions like, baby, something missing. All of a sudden, she just flipped on you and just said, oh, he's stalking me, trying to get you locked up. What happened in between that? What happened? Y'all watch that? Because y'all know I'll be watching people. I was like, what happened with Lavelle? And maybe because she knew that they was coming down on her about having that type of person, she wanted to find a way to get rid of him. But the story didn't make no damn sense. I'm just going to tell you that, Lavelle. Okay, but I'm glad you changed your life. The author okay, let's get to this. Ooh, let's see. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but we're going to put it. The officer who murdered Alexis Wilson already had bodies on him. He was trigger happy and got offered to be promoted after that. Okay, we're going to get back to that. If y'all want to talk about it, Are you in that particular area? And I knew that they was like some of the information I found out about Miss Wilson is that they were trying to petition the officers' background and things like that. But I did watch the video. Did you watch the video, the body cam from different angles? Just tell me yes or no in a comment. Miss Tony, did you watch the body cam? And we got to talk about the way Miss Wilson, how she reacted. Okay, we do. We got to talk about this. Okay. All right. So 22 views, 9 likes. Please hit the like, Miss Valerie. Always remind them. Please do. Think us, get us in the algorithm. You already know we're different. We definitely going to get into the facts, and then I'm going to break it down, talk about it a different way. And I want y'all to come in like, hey, that was right. That was wrong. Whatever you want to do, just hit the like button or hit the dislike, whatever you want to do. Yes, Valerie, I agree. I wish that I can hit like more than once. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Don't worry. If I bust through this algorithm right now, and y'all know I'm gonna know my personality, God got the final say. It's gonna be like, ain't no stopping. No stopping. Pull a Henyard. No stopping. No stopping. Okay, sorry. This is supposed to be a serious live. Okay, let's get to it. Thank you, ladies. All right. So now we're gonna get into some of the things that happened. Now, I actually found a TikTok video of a gentleman who caught the outside of this. So let's watch this from a news perspective. And then if y'all have any insight on this, let me know. Let's get to it.
Breaking news, a deadly police shooting in South Suburban Dalton.
CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey force outside the scene where it happened with new details. Megan.
Right. Dalton police said it happened sometime between 5 and 5:30 this morning. And talking to neighbors, that's about the time that they say they heard gunshots. Take a look behind me. This is where they believe that the shooting happened. You can see the tire tracks from a vehicle back here. There is an evidence marker and some blood in the grass. Now, police tell us that a call from a woman came in about an unwanted subject. Again, we're at 144th Place in Dalton. Police were not sure about the relationship between the caller and the subject, but upon arrival, they encountered this person. He was in his car, and they determined he had a weapon as he was sitting in the car. They say they made several attempts to get him to put it down, to surrender that weapon. He did not, and the officers shot and killed the suspect. The weapon was recovered on the scene. It's important to note there was an order of protection in place against the subject by the caller. The subject is late 30s, early 40s, according to police. And moments ago, we spoke to rattled neighbors here on the scene.
So I heard the gunshots. I immediately got on the floor because you don't know, where
That's the hood.
gunfires actually come from. It sounded from it, but it could be anywhere. So alerted my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm hearing this gunfire. What's going on?" And I said, "Someone's shooting." So I called the police.
Yo, you know that's the hood where you be in the bed, gunshots roll off, and you just roll on the floor and go to sleep. That's not funny, but it's the truth, because I remember doing that a lot in North. It'll be gunshots, pop, 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 pop. I'll just lay down on the floor and just be asleep, wake up in the morning, like, okay, we survived. That's so sad, but that's how it is in the hood. But in this particular situation now, there's more details that comes behind it. Let me just show you a clip now. You see why you got to do a little research too, so you could get different perspectives. So now I found a video on TikTok from somebody who was recording. It's like basically like a cop watch, and I think his tone was like the police was wrong on what they was doing in a way. But I just want y'all to listen so we can listen from different perspectives, and you see why it's important to kind of just go in a little deep and not jump out the window all the time so fast. All right, let's press play. What's up? Let's play it.
This is the Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. I'm reporting this morning on a police-involved shooting by the Dalton Police Department. There was a man, 30 years old, shot multiple times, then transported to the hospital. At this time, his condition is not known. On the 600 block east of 144th Place in Dalton, Illinois. Thank you for listening and watching. This is live, uncut, unedited.
And this is what I'm talking about. What? Not saying that because mainstream be on that bullshit, but y'all don't see the difference. That was a lot of information missing. And that's one of the shits that go viral and that get everybody all amped up and they didn't even know the whole story. This man had a protection order against him from the person who called. And if that was the person calling, somebody was stalking me, shit, shoot him down. I'm sorry. But y'all just gotta kind of like, let's expand the horizon. So I don't support police forward shootings. There are things that they should do to try to mitigate the risk factors. But I just want to put this out there. You see what I'm saying? Let's just pay attention to how it's presented to us from different sides. But you know, mainstream, they be lying too. They be lying too. Half-ass story. Man fatally shot by Dalton police officers in the armed confrontation. Let's see if this is the same one or another one. Hold on. No, that's the same one. So that's the one they say in an armed confrontation, and he had a gun on him. Okay, so now we got another one. Former Dolton police officer who used taser on teen with autism dispute firing. He got fired. You see what I'm saying? Not saying that they do the right thing there, but let's get to it. Hold on, I gotta get off the screen. Okay, let's get to it. We gotta be balanced here. They better have fired him. All right, so let's get it on the screen. Hold up, before we get on the screen, this is former Dolton police officer who used taser on teen with autism. Deputies fired. Okay, so this happened in February. This was broadcast on February 8th, 2028. Let's get it playing. Did y'all know about this? Y'all broadcast the good stuff. Okay, this is good. They fired his ass. Let's go.
Leslie Johnson tells me he is the officer in the body cam video who tased the 14-year-old boy. Now, Johnson admits they got the wrong person. He says he feels terrible about what happened, but he tells me he should not have lost his job over this incident.
At the time, I didn't know he was a boy, and I didn't know that he was, disabled or autistic. I didn't know any of those things at the time.
Former police officer Leslie Johnson was fired by the Dalton Police Department Wednesday after an incident that garnered national attention. On November 20th of last year, Dalton officers were called to help Riverdale police who were searching for 4 black men with guns.
We observed 2 offenders fit the description, continued to run from us. I gave orders a couple times to stop, just continued running.
Get your hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
Johnson tased Avarius twice in what we now know was his own backyard. Is it your understanding now that this was a case of mistaken identity?
Yes, it is. Yes. We were later informed by Riverdale police that it was not him.
Now knowing that Avarius has autism, when you found that out, how did that make you feel?
When I learned that made me feel terrible, just because I have autistic people in my family. And what still goes through my mind off of that video was the look on his face.
Aww.
That hurt.
Johnson tells me he stands by his decision to use a taser as a less lethal option. He says he followed protocol and should not have been fired.
All this time goes by, and you're telling me don't worry about it. We looked into it. You're good. Everything's okay. And then all of a sudden, after that story airs on the news, now you want to take some kind of action and make me out to be the bad guy. I won't stand for that.
Johnson says he hopes Avarius and his family can find it in their hearts to not view him as a bad officer or a bad person.
I've been told you shouldn't apologize. You should, even if it was a mistake, you apologize for mistakes.
The village of Dalton tells the I-Team, quote, after a thorough investigation of the facts regarding this matter, the officer in question was relieved of his duty in accordance with rules and regulations of the village of Dalton Police Department. The incident occurred during the officer's probationary period, end quote. Now, Johnson was with the department, he says, for about 3 months, and he says the probationary period is 1.5 years. Dalton tells me the tasing incident is still under review by Dalton Police and the Illinois State State Police Public Integrity Task Force. And Mayor Henyard is looking forward to reviewing the findings of the investigation once it is completed. Now, the former officer tells me he is considering taking action against the Dalton Police Department and the Village of Dalton.
All right, so what y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Now, my first question, now I know he's autistic, but why wasn't it 2 kids running? And why were they running? And he did make a mistake. He did make a mistake on identity. And I will give it to the police. It was better for him to use a taser than a gun. And that is real. That is real. My question is, why fire this particular officer and then you don't fire the officer that is involved in the Lexus Wilson case? Because either way, there is, some questionable things. If you're going to do it with him, I think, hey, why didn't you do it with that other officer? Honestly, with him, I don't believe that he should be fired. Y'all like, what? I really don't, because he did not use lethal force on the child. The person was running. I don't know if the description fit, but maybe it was more gross than that. Maybe it was like totally gross where the description didn't fit. It was totally a mistake. So I'm gonna kind of like pause on my stance. But I know if you was in Newark and those kids was running like that, shots fired. Shots fired. Police don't have the discretion for some apparent reason. I talked to my uncle about that many a times, and they'll just get lazy and they'll shoot you. They'll shoot you like I'm not about to run after you. Okay? And they've been trained to shoot to kill. So we got to keep that in consideration. So they have a lawsuit filed against Dolton Riverdale officer after taser use on autistic boy. So I'm gonna maybe go into that and see how were they able to file a lawsuit, because it has to be something more, and it has to be to do with the identification of a child or the assailant at that time and how the officer pursued them. So these some of the things I want y'all to take your time to go into before everybody be reactory, because I know it's like everybody hate Henyard, of course, but we got to be realistic too with what's going on and the actual changes that you want to get done. So let's just watch this little short video. You're going to be able to see a little bit more, hopefully, of the officer chasing after him. Hopefully. Let's see.
We have an update tonight from the ABC 7 I team on a 14-year-old boy with autism who was tased by suburban police. Now, the boy's family has officially filed a lawsuit against the village of Dolton and the village of Riverdale and several police officers. Back in November, Dolton officer Leslie Johnson tased Avarius Thompson. Last week, the department fired Johnson. He admitted that this was a case of mistaken identity, and he said that he felt terrible about the incident. And in their lawsuit, the boy's family is claiming that officers pursued Thompson while investigating an incident that the boy was not involved with. The family is seeking damages, claiming emotional distress and excessive force. And we have reached out to Dalton for a response to the lawsuit, and we have not heard back. That this was a case of mistaken identity. And
so my question is, y'all just said Lacey cost, Chief Lacey has already cost the village more than $33.5 million in lawsuit from his behavior. Where the proof? Where these lawsuits at? I'm a gay. Y'all giving me something to look up, but if you have the info, let me put my little link up there for my email so y'all can start sending me stuff, because I don't want to just put no allegations out here. Y'all gonna be having me saying allegedly. Let's put the real stuff out here, because Miss Henyard talking about you being bamboozled. They just trying to work against me. I'm not that type of person. I'm a real human being, and like I said, sometimes I think about like, damn, how would I feel if everybody, and it felt like everybody was making videos against me doing stuff. I mentioned that I have went through that, and I felt very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I'm much stronger now, but you got to think about that. So we want to put out the most factual information as possible. Hannibal and Hungry exposed Dolton Police Department. Okay, maybe he have a video up there about some of the actions, so I'll look into that as well. But I want the actual people of Dolton to come out with some facts as well, come out with their experience. Okay, shout out to all the content creators out there doing their thing. All right, but as I talked about, we don't want to just put allegations out there. Big Tiff, Gold Digger, pay attention to OAKK Constructions. So we talked about that. What else we gonna go into? Uncut full version. Who is Dan? Dan, you getting on my nerves. Say something better. I'm sorry, baby. Because I like to put people's stuff up there, but please get it together, Dan. Okay? Okay. Now, I don't think he should be fired either. He really seems remorseful. You see what I'm saying? We got to like evaluate this stuff instead of being so reactory about stuff, especially even the one where you got the guy on TikTok went viral, like, yeah, I'm police watch. They shot him 5 times, and this is the story. The nigga was stalking somebody. Shit, he had a gun. You see what I'm saying? So I gotta give it to him right now. Let's move forward. I'm just going on my findings. Body cam release of Dalton police shooting in teen on Halloween. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, Dalton is tripping. But then when I watched the video, I was like, what is going on? Give me a reason to hate Henyard. I can't.
How can you pull back on expenses?
For this particular one, I can't blame the officer because this was a lot. This was a lot. Let's just watch this and you make your determination, okay? But I still hear that they got some stuff going on bad there, but I got to put what I find, y'all.
It is releasing 3 different angles of officers' body camera footage after they say 2 of their officers shot a teenager last Saturday night. Police say the entire situation began when someone called to report a suspicious man with a gun. Video starts with officers following car terrorist Doty. The first officer repeatedly asked the 19-year-old to drop a gun. Police say a caller had given a very specific description of Doty when they called to report him with a gun. I'm not playing anymore. Drop the gun. Doty continues to walk away from the officer, crossing the street and then into a nearby neighborhood, all while acknowledging officers and engaging, but seemingly not obeying their repeated commands. Put the gun down! Dalton police say 2 other officers show up as backup, and body camera footage shows they too follow Doty with demands, sometimes while pointing their guns at the teenager. Put it on the ground! After several minutes, body camera footage appears to show Cartera's Doty lift his hand despite warnings. Police slowed down the video. Then 2 officers fire shots. We've frozen the video right there.
When the subject turned around here and he had his hand on the weapon and his gun in his waistband, at that point, it's like, who's the quickest draw? They took an extended amount of time to try to get the defendant to drop his weapon.
Both officers fired several times and Doty dropped to the ground.
Why so many gunshots? But officers are trained to fire until the threat is extinguished. And as you can clearly...
I told y'all, that's how my uncle said. I said, why they can't train y'all to shoot them in the arm, the leg, to disable? Why is it to kill? And then, you know, when you got them afraid, especially then, y'all saw the young boy walking with the gun. When I see the title, I'm mad. I'm mad. Police shot a teen. But then I look at the video and I said, what are we teaching our kids? These kids are on demon time. They don't realize what they're doing is going to lead them to death. They don't equivalent what death equals to. Never being here, never again. Let's just listen to Mr. Rogers, because this was happening under his administration. And I would assume now, too, after COVID, it has gotten worse. Because it like COVID done dumbed down people, in my mind. Something and got them demented. That's just my opinion. Our kids were out of school for a year and a half or a year for some people, and they didn't know how to teach their kids. See, the good thing with me, I was homeschooling 3-4 years before COVID, and that shit was still stressful for me. So I could imagine the parents who didn't know what the hell they were doing. Our kids got set back. They was doing a whole lot of internet shit, getting really demented. I'm telling you, they're going to come out and tell us that the internet and them watching the screens have done something to their mind spiritually. I'm telling you, that's why our kids are so detached from reality. See, they could play a video game, shoot people up, everything, and I'm about to go kill this jigger just over words. And they right outside acting like this. He has no regards. He's walking and they telling him to put the gun down so many times. This wouldn't happen in Newark. They running right up on him, shooting him down. That's why when I'm looking at this, back at this video, where I'm from, you're done. You're done. You got a gun? Police not about to play with you. Let's watch this.
And engaging, but seemingly not obeying their repeated commands.
Put the gun down!
Dalton police say 2 other officers show up as backup, and body camera footage shows they too follow Doty with demands, sometimes while pointing their guns at the teenager.
Put it on the ground!
After several minutes, body camera footage appears to show Carteris Doty lift his hand despite warnings. Police slowed down the video. Then 2 officers fire shots. We've frozen the video right there.
Look at my baby. Look at my baby with the damn pistol just lifted up like a damn fool. What would you do? What would you do? That's all I'm saying. We got to take some responsibility of what's happening with our kids. This is serious. Because what I'm seeing, some of this shit could have been avoided. Especially the officer involved shootings that I'm seeing out here. Some of this shit could have been avoided. Just why our kids having God in them or something. Having some type of home training. Now we're going to show you another one. Shooting in Dalton, suspect arrested. Officers placed on administrative duty. Let's put this on the screen. When you are afraid, let's put this comment. When you are afraid and nervous, even with training, you may act differently. That's why police are trained to deal with these situations. They just tend not to use that training with Black people. I can say that because I experienced that in healthcare, because our doctors are very trained about certain things and they sure enough treat us much different. And we keep taking courses, keep our training up. But also we have to do more like assessments on cops coming in. Like I mentioned, I was looking for this banking job and these gave me a test and I ain't passing for the banking job. I didn't fit in. I don't know if they thought I was going to be a bank robber in the future or something, but I didn't fit the criteria for that, and even in my nursing program, we had an entry test and it was certain things we had to be able to answer correctly. And I'm not saying these people are not racist and that don't play a big part, but I think continued training, diversity that they pulling out of there, and also us going in and actually going to take these positions in our own community. How about they're not going to govern us properly, and then we have to know what we're dealing with and how to deal with our people, because as you see, Dolton in itself have a lot of Black officers too. So I agree with you. When you are afraid, you can make mistakes, especially when you're in the line of duty, but that's why we here as people need to definitely pay attention to the story from different aspects before we be emotionally driven. They want us to be emotionally driven, and then we're going to have to mitigate this from home. We're going to have to teach our kids there's no way. It's not going to work with them locking us up and killing us. Do you understand? It's going to take us to actually fix the problem from home. And that's going to be us being police, if you don't want to be police, be neighborhood watch, or keep your ass kid in the house from walking around with a gun like that. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to get into this Melanie Fitness Center, and I hope one of you guys can give me some detail. But I just want to get into just about children, about their mind and their situation just a little bit. It's very, very corrupted out there, guys. I really want you guys to understand we're fighting an uphill battle when it comes to our next generation and the way that they are trained. There's no time for us to not have these systems in place correctly, because they're going to shoot our kids down like dogs, because our kids seem to not have the empathy that we have. They're disconnected. We have scary individuals who like, hey, I'm just going to shoot them first. And, people like my uncle, like, fuck that. You going to have me running too long? Pop, pop, pop. I'm like, oh my God. You see what I'm saying? So how are we gonna fix this? Keep putting blame on people like Henyard? You know what I'm saying? But to put in perspective that some of this crime and things been happening before her, but we can't put the fact that she's wasting the damn money and she's doing worse by the community. We're definitely gonna highlight that. Even in that little 4th or 8th party website that don't even have all the information, they put Dalton at 80% of spending more than what did it say? The towns that are at 550,000 people. They're at the 80 percentile. That's on Henyard. There has to be a time where the officials have to make the right decisions. And that's where we're at right now. And that's why Henyard is feeling the heat as well. She inherited some bullshit, but she messed it up. She's even worse. So here we're going to put up here. This was into November 29th, 2022. Y'all see me smiling like, that's my birthday. Oh, that's my birthday. Anyway, November 29th, this video was put up by Miss Henyard on the Village of Dolton, Illinois page, talking about Melanie's fitness. What happened, Henyard? This is what Grace Levi is asking you. What did you do for Dolton and Thornton community related to the crime, related to programs for these kids to get them out the street? Let's see. Let's listen to what your plan was. And did it happen? Because I'm still confused. Nobody can answer it yet. I got to drive out to Dolton, y'all, and go look at this police department, see if it's open. Huh?
Hey guys, it is Super Mayor Tiffany
It's windy.
Latest, bad as ever, police department in South Suburbs. What are they gonna do, right? So we're changing the Melody Fitness into the new police department for the village. But just so you know, we are still open on Park. So you must go there. We are opening this coming up this 2023. 2023 coming soon. So do not run here. I just want to put that out. This is not open. I'm just showing you and revealing the new things to come to the village of Dalton. Now, as y'all know, we have hired new police officers. We are increasing our fleet. And I just want you to see the baddest crew in the land right here. That's Dalton PD, y'all. I love my police officers. I love public safety. And I'm always thrown for my city. And make sure y'all have a resource that you so desperately need and that you have been lacking for years. So now my job is to give you what you need. People talk a good talk, but at the end of the day, my work speaks for itself. You see me putting on for my city. You see me constantly growing. Y'all saw a video. If y'all didn't see it, go to Tiffany Henyard. That's my regular Facebook page. And you'll see my Ooh Wee What a Blessing challenge. And you'll see the new thing that Public Works have, the new fire engine we have. And then you also see the police department. So stay tuned to what's to come. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Talking about new things coming, we are replacing our fleet. Our cars are starting to come in, getting rid of those old cars. We have new personnel coming in, and the first time in a long time, we have 3 people in the police academy. That hasn't been done in a long time. We're constantly trying to hire officers so we can have boots on the ground, more eyes on the streets, so we can help protect this town and this city. But we need you also, like the mayor said, don't come to this station yet. It's not open just yet. Come to 14030 Park Avenue. That's where the police station is. Until we open these doors here.
I gave you the benefit of the doubt. This was 2022. And now let's just pop up because I did a little Google search of the addresses. You like what we got going on since we can't have nobody answer me about what's going on. So I did a little quick research. Melody Fitness Center. It ain't nothing going on but the rent. Ain't nothing. Oh, is that a house? Why is that back up there again? Oh, here we go. I was about to say, is that house that we was looking at right here? They're like a fire. What's that? Like a little fire station or something. Anyway, this is Melanie's Fitness Center right here. And guess what? This thing is still closed. I don't think it's a police station because if this is a police station, they didn't update their Google. They didn't update their Google profile. So again, here go a failure. Now this is a failure of our great super mayor because you're getting to 6 months of the end of your damn trial, right now, your trial and error of being a mayor, and you did not accomplish what you said. Let's just put up Melanie's Fitness Center Facebook page. You know, they ain't even got enough sense to take that off. You know, I'm gonna pull it up. Closed. The hell? Waste of people money. I already showed y'all in 2001 that they paid out money and they didn't have no income for Melanie Fitness Center. So you know it ain't no income now. They still paying for that building. Closed. Okay? Please, senior, get it together. This is what you were supposed to be focused on. Not your funky Father's Day, not your stupid skating ring. Because I knew I was supposed to show it, but I done forgot about that. Because I'm not that type of person. I could care less about a damn party. I need some shit for my people. Okay? And you failed. You failed. Let's see. We're about to get to the end of this broadcast. We're going to be having a part 2, but we're going to get into. I showed y'all Marquita. Could somebody give me a little bit more detail about her? I'm calling out because I don't want to call out people and then it become a beef. I ain't beefing with nobody. I'm just going to say what I feel and keep it moving. But I do want to find out what is her problem with Lacey, thick leg ass Lacey, because I know he Crooked Joe, and she talked about alleged someone being unalive in the cell. And I remember Miss Valerie saying something about not wanting to get into a cell because she knew she wasn't going to be able to come out of that cell in Dolton. So that's very deeply troubling. So if y'all know anything about Miss Marquita Franklin, I'm going to be looking through all her page trying to put some shit together. I mean, give you a heads up, girl. I'm on a hunt. So that's what I'm going to put together to see what's going on, because that's dangerous. That sounds like a Sandra Bland type of situation. Don't never think I forgot about my girl, Sandra Bland. Y'all did? I'm about to put her up there. Y'all remember her? Is that Sandra Bland? Did I say it right? Yes, my beautiful sister. And how she was unalive in a cell. So I do believe that there are police corruption. They're never getting messed up. But I have to talk from a realistic perspective. This is Miss Sandra Bland. Do y'all remember our sister who was unalive in the cell? Activist, Black woman, who they try to say had mental illness and all of this nonsense. We got corruption. We do. But I want you guys to be able to distinguish if it's coming from our part as a community and our kids, or if it's actually coming from the system. Okay? I was like, dang, I wanted to ride Tiffany like a donkey on this live, but I can't, because some of these stories, and thank God it wasn't a lot, the officers seem to be a little bit justified in what they did. Now, justice for Alexis. Let's pull this up on the screen. This is brought to my attention through the numerous Dolton meetings. And I know people don't want to talk about it because they want to just keep their ratings, but I'm going to get into it just a little bit. This is justice for Alexis Dalton. Protesters arrested during village meeting. So this was one of the things that stood out to me. You know, you have people there, activist Miss Camilla Williams, who said that she was charged with disturbing the peace and arrested during the homeowners meeting held by mayor and the department heads of Village Hall. Williams and other protesters stood on the street across from the outdoor meeting, chanting Alexis Wilson and holding signs that read justice for Alexis. She said the group wanted answers about the situation and left Alexis Wilson fatally shot and wanted 2 of the officers involved to be fired. This was one of the strings of protesters held since July, but the response to their demonstration only strengthens Williams' suspicion of the village. So this is just an intro to it. Now, what you said is, I think Tony said it, because Tony, you out there. Tell me what you think about this, because I want you to have the floor, because honestly, did you watch the video? A lot of Delta officers are not happy with their leadership. I do agree. Let me know, did you watch the video while I'm reading these comments? I do agree. A lot of Dolton police officers are not happy with their leadership, especially highlighting what Jedediah mentioned in one of his lives earlier about how the momentum on their face, how they were just having their face down when they was trying to put them fake charges on him, how they were just embarrassed, how, it's people's jobs. I promise you, I understand. I understand. Both the police and the suspects are extremely nervous. We did put that up there. Blessings, Miss Bridges, welcome. Please add to the story. I asked my 2 questions is, did you watch the video with Alexis Wilson? Do you know what's going on with Marquita Fletcher? That's her name, related to thick leg ass Lacey. Anybody who got boots on the ground before I really put my commentary down. That's the other Valerie. Who's the other That's Valerie. That's the other Valerie you said? Is that the one? Who's the other Valerie? Marquita? Who's the other Valerie? I'm trying to, y'all remember when y'all put your comment up there, put a whole sentence so I can know what y'all talking about. Okay? I want to react correctly. It's the other, y'all talking about Valerie. There's one Valerie from Dolton and another Valerie. The Valerie that be on Jedediah page. Is that what y'all talking about? I'm all in y'all comments. I'm going to get into this because we're starting to get to the end. And y'all know I'm shucking and jiving because I really want to do commentary on Miss Alexis Wilson, but I want to know what y'all think. So justice for Alexis Wilson. Yes, I have seen several videos. So what do you think about the video? Okay. Can I play the video? Can I play the video? And I want you guys to tell me what y'all think. I didn't pull it. I think I was gonna do a whole live about it. I'm gonna do a whole live about it. So you did say you saw the video. How do you think that the police should have mitigated the situation with Miss Alexis Wilson? Tell me. That's what I was trying to think. The situation escalated that I saw in the video when Miss Alexis Wilson accelerated on the gas and pulled off with the officer about to get into the car to take out the key. Now, did I say that I don't think he was inside the vehicle. The way they made it seem was like he was in the vehicle and she was dragging him a little bit or something. So I'm going to watch the video a little bit more in detail. But when we talk about this, we got to talk about it from an unbiased perspective, a real perspective of how you would handle it if you were an officer. How would you want them to handle your child? I would assume in the middle of a mental health crisis, because that's what I was seeing. And nobody wants to say that I believe she was in the middle of a mental health crisis. If y'all watched the video, the issue that they were having before the police showed up. So we have to address the elephant in the room in the Black community. We don't address mental health issues and we take bad behavior, not talking about Alexis, but just in general, and we make it a social norm. That's why we have hip hop and rap and all this talking about killing. We are literally supporting serial killers. Rap talk about serial killing, a lot of it, and sexual deviancy. Why is that? Is that a mental problem in us in the Black community? Do y'all see that? Am I just thinking too deep? We have been so socially normalized into our oppressor's home that we have the value system of our oppressors. What is going to be our value system? And that's what I want to end off with. What is our value system? What are you teaching your kids about behaviors and how you expect them to behave and how do you expect people to react to them? Because let me give you this quick story. My kids, all I do is just talk to them. Talk. You know, I don't have to really beat them or anything. And they have got to the age where they're bigger than me and they talk and they think they teaching me and telling me. And me and them would get into it. And one day I just ran up on my daughter. I ran up on her like I was a thug in the street. Because I was like, girl, who you think you talking to? Do you know people in the street will eat your damn food when you run your mouth like somebody owe you? When you think you entitled and you tell them the world don't work like that, you won't even listen to me? I ran up on her a few times. And she told my family, yeah, she did this, how she talked to us, this how she treated us. And guess what happened? She got a new job. And she has a boss, a Black woman, who have no behavior. She says she watched this Black woman run up on one of her customers for asking for extra sauce with an attitude. And she said, I looked at this lady like that was a little crazy. But then she said, this was the incident. The lady was eating food or someplace behind the counter. So my daughter started eating food behind the counter. It's a Black-owned business. This is how we treat each other. This is how fucked up we is. So she doing the wrong thing. My daughter eating her little snack. And she said, who told you to eat? This is a whole grown lady to my daughter. Okay? I'm glad I told her well, though. And my daughter was like, well, you're eating. She said that lady ran up on that counter so fast. And she was like, what did you say? And my daughter, guess what? Instead of being reactory, acting all stupid, because I already put it on, like, who the fuck you think you are? I showed it at home. People will run up on you. You better be ready. You better know how to talk. You better know how to conduct yourself. These motherfuckers don't love you the way I love you. And I forgot what she said to the lady. But she said something logical to the lady. And the lady just was like, no, she said something like, well, you eating, so I figured we was all okay to eat. She said something like that. And the lady was like, well, just make sure you wash your hands. Instead of my daughter popping off like, who you think you are running up on me? Da, 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 da. She was calm, cool, collective, and hit it with logic. Like, excuse me, old lady. You eating over there? We hungry. My sugar low. That's what she said. She said, my sugar low. I've been working hard. I can't understand what's going on. She was like, oh, okay. But if I didn't train her and I ain't run up in her face and been my mother and said, I ain't about to play with you because you're getting disrespectful. I'm going to beat you before the police beat you. That would have been another situation. So that's why I talk the way I talk. So when we go over this Alexa Wilson situation, and we also, going to, if we find anything else, please, let's talk from it from a real perspective, from what we could have did to prevent it, what the police could have did to prevent it. Should this man actually been fired based on the situation? You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to do a little bit more research. I'm preparing y'all because I'm feeling a little different, but I think everyone should deserve justice as well. And I do know that allegedly Miss Henyard said some things that made people upset. They felt like they was upset, like she disrespected the situation. So we're going to get into that. I think that's going to be the end of our live for right now. I do kind of know what direction I'm going into. I'm going to follow up next week with, I guess, just a highlight for justice for Alexis. The date of the actual anniversary is coming up July 24th or 25th, just by me doing my research. So I'm going to try to get it done before that time. Okay. And with that goes to say, I do want to say thank you for being here with Grace Levi. We do have some other special content coming up for you guys. Hold on one second. Make sure I got the right thing. We have some other special content coming up for you guys. Y'all know I'm kind of got that ADHD thing going around. So I'm going to jump from topic to topic. I'm also going to be doing the trending topics this week, y'all, this weekend. So please jump in there. That trending topic is going to be different. We're going to be talking about international stuff, migrants, a little bit of celebrity news, just some stuff. Just get us off of just this one topic, kind of expand our horizons. And y'all can see how Grace Levi hit the topics different. So I want to say I love you guys. And this is going to be a little closing. Y'all know I'm going to do this is going to be like a 15-minute closing. Y'all can sign off, but y'all already know I got a message for the Hebrews. I need you guys to wake up. Judah, without y'all, we're going to be nothing. Without y'all biblically, and that is Black America. Without y'all, we're not going to be able to bring in God's kingdom. If y'all don't know y'all glory, Grace Levi from the tribe of Levi is telling you how important you are, Judah. Know who you are. They want you guys to be blinded, spiritually blinded, not intellectual, not caring about your nation, caring about carnal things like what Henyard like. you know, going to parties and shit, keeping you distracted so they can continue to extract our funds from us. They're extracting our funds through way of taxes, through way of falseful arrests, through way of high bill interest and low pay. So please pay attention to that, not just the madness. Okay, so I love you guys and thank you for being here with Grace Levi.
So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Term is 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections are the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Okay, next.